What is hard? It's 45 minutes. Oh my God, my attention span does not work like this. All right. I have to lock in. Okay, I'm gonna be real with you. We will probably not get through the whole thing. All right.
You're gonna disrespect your mom like that,
she
dude.
is right now.
You're gonna disrespect your mom and say that your work is harder?
Maybe sign a few envelopes.
No. Nah, it's not.
What's up? How's it going?
Same old different day.
Okay, all right. So my argument here is that streaming and social media creation is harder than a 9-to-5.
Facts.
Nah, it's not facts, bro. 9 to 5 is way harder, homie.
Why do you say that?
Because you gotta get up every motherfucking day, go to the motherfucking
we
bullshit
can't
job,
actually just wait
and
until
slave for
sorry.
fucking pennies.
See, that's the thing.
We might
You're
as well.
Right. You get up every day. You go through the
Thank
motions.
you.
You don't have to get a good night's sleep. You don't have to be focused. You don't have to be locked in. You wake up. You go, you flip some patties,
Nah,
maybe you sign a few envelopes, answer a few phone calls. With streaming and social media creation, you have to be on your game 24/7. It's like a switch that never
when you're
turns
a mail
off.
carrier, I'm a mail carrier, and I'm gonna tell you something, man. I get treated like shit every motherfucking day.
We
I'm
have to
still
deal with
slaving
thousands,
every day.
tens of thousands of people
Bullshit.
critiquing every little thing we do every
Man.
decision.
Is this rage bait? This is rage bait, right? Is that what the whole video is? Is rage bait? As a 9-to-5, I wouldn't be able to handle the weight from streaming, dealing with social media, and keeping up with my fan base. I mean, it's not for everybody. They're rage baiting. Also, to be fair, everybody knows this shit is not like black and white, bro. It's not black and white. Like there's so many different categories of streaming and jobs that make it different. You know what I mean? It's very different. What are your thoughts though? I think that this is way easier than a 9-to-5. I would never go back to a 9-to-5 if I could, because I've worked like 7 different jobs in my lifetime. And I got paid shit money to work the same hours that not the same hours. I think I work more hours now than I used to. But you know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's way different. Hold on. Did you hang up with me? Did you hang up with me because Pokey called me? Called you?
No.
Okay, great. I'm hanging up right now. Go ahead and take me off the screen because you don't want to leak my number. Goodbye.
We make every thought
You guys got it made, man. I wish I had it made like y'all.
We don't have to go and sign a few envelopes and put them in a mailbox.
Man,
We
you
have
got
to
it gravy, bro.
What's the next trend?
Because
What's the next
shit I
idea?
go through every
Oh my
day.
God, I have to
got
stream
dogs.
today.
I got dogs that want to bite my ass
And
every
you have
day.
lunch breaks. You have lunch breaks. We don't have breaks. We're on 24/7.
You got
high energy, 24/7.
I wish I could be at home like you and get back and get paid big money.
We're not even at home. We're walking around.
Man,
We're walking
I
around
wanna
doing
do
things,
all of
going
that
to
because
parties, doing
the
all this
shit-
stuff.
Dude,
I got
Lacey
it
is Lacey has to be the most annoying person to argue with ever, because he look at how he's rage baiting and he knows he's being annoying and he's choosing to continue to do it. He is actually oh my God.
Not even 100,000 a year. I gotta work double overtime. Bullshit.
He's
Okay, what
so
about this?
good.
You're guaranteed to get paid. You have a
No, I'm not.
steady rate.
If I don't work, I don't get paid. It's simple as that.
Yeah, but you have a guaranteed pay.
Guaranteed pay if you work.
No, I
That's
don't.
your decision if you don't want
I
to work.
gotta work at the job for
If
years.
I don't go live, I don't
just
get paid
to
either.
collect.
We don't got to deal with people spamming L's.
Yes, we have people in the chat spamming L's.
That Adapt might be, I'm like not even trolling, one of the funniest people unintentionally ever. Like, it's something about the way he keeps a straight face when he says stuff. Oh my God, he's so funny. Wait.
Paid either.
We don't got to deal with people spamming L's.
Like
Yes,
what?
people in the chat spamming L's. Oh, this is bullshit. We don't like.
Like how did all of them not die laughing right there? Oh my God, I would have started crying. I just could not hold a straight face. There's no way.
You have to create content. Imagine you have to be
Cinna, you look like Jason with a wig. That's gotta be charged, right?
high energy. Oh, hey guys, how's it going? You guys like this stream?
That's me 24/7. I'd rather do that.
So why don't you become a streamer?
Man, that's what I want to do. F that. F this 9-to-5 shit.
If streaming is so easy, how come every single person in this seat is not a streamer?
People are lazy.
Brinsky,
They
think
want
you're
to put
getting
in
us
the
out to
work.
It's
Adapt?
their fault.
I
Thank
get
you.
called fat all the time.
Oh, so what? I get called fat and chubby. All my homeboys call me chubby, fat,
Well,
whatever.
That's your homeboys, though. I'm gonna keep it a buck. That's your
Yeah.
homeboy.
Yeah, and you're right, homeboy. You're right. But check this out, my nigga. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna go out there and get that bag.
I think she's got something she wants to say.
Oh my gosh, wait, we're seeing flags.
Unfortunately, these flags are actually useless. We decided to use a timer instead because we suck at explaining things.
They're so dumb. That's a great video, by the way.
So you raised your flag. Is there a reason you did
Yeah,
that?
because I was actually a cook for 15 years. So that means for 15 years, I had to get up practically every day, get dressed, go to work, and I had to deal with not only adults, but I also had to deal with children.
We deal with children every day, too.
We deal with tens of thousands of children and adults.
The Lacey Stugs are. Do you not know who the Lacey Stugs are?
We can't.
I deal with children. Nah, retweet, chat. Every time I come here, it feels like I'm babysitting. Okay, I'm just keeping it real.
Go out in public without 10
Yo, to
kids coming
Brinsky,
up
thank you for the
after
gifted sub to face. I appreciate it.
Isn't that
Thank
sad?
you.
so difficult.
How long do you think this is going to last?
Forever.
Forever.
You think this
hopefully.
is going to last forever?
I hope so. You just proved my point for me. I don't have that security that's gonna last forever. Having a job, being a
9-to-5 job is generally more secure than streaming because it offers a steady income benefit, and streaming is unpredictable, highly competitive, and income depends on viewer support and algorithms. Yeah, they're not comparable. Bro, I've done both. I've worked a 9-to-5 and I've done streaming. Let me just tell you, streaming tomorrow, I could blink and my career is gone. It's just true. Anything can happen. My career is gone completely tomorrow. Okay, and there are a lot of streamers who are not at where I'm at and have to deal with that. Like when I was a smaller streamer, I had to deal with that, and I was like, "Fuck! If I don't make enough money before this ends, then I've wasted these years." You know what I mean? That's super unstable. 9-to-5s are obviously more stable. Like that's just that's general knowledge.
Why he gotta grind.
You have that security of, oh, I have a job, I have a degree, I have this.
They're
I
not
don't-
secure
I
like
can disconnect from me
indefinitely,
tomorrow.
but they are more
Hypothetically,
stable than
if you
streaming.
said- if you all of a sudden you lost all your followers, what would you do?
I know what he'll do. Get up.
No, I'm asking
Trigger
him.
warning.
I'm asking him. What would you
Job.
do if you lost completely all your YouTubers? You had nothing. No one watched you anymore. I didn't even watch you anymore. What would you have to do? You would have to actually have to go to work. Oh my God, did I just cuss at you?
That's a slur. If I did lose all my followers, I would probably buy a couple houses and start my real estate empire.
Okay, so then you would have to actually go to
Wait,
work. You would
I
actually
love
have to
this
go to the
video.
office.
And I would think that would be a much easier job than streaming.
You gotta go into your setup though and sit in front of studio lights and read the chat and be interactive.
But no, he lost everybody. He lost everybody. He has no followers.
Yo, Elijah, there goes the prime.
whatsoever. He would have to turn
Yeah, but
around.
you're proving my point.
You would have
You're
to
proving
turn
my
around.
point. You're proving my point on why this is harder because I could lose it all
Yeah,
tomorrow.
but you could lose it tomorrow.
If let's say you're a cook, right? Let's say you got fired. You have hundreds of people lined up. You could go cook over here, cook over there. You could be a private chef. You could be a private chef. Exactly. I don't have that security.
I was a cook in the school system. I cooked all frozen food.
But you still cook.
You still cook. You go cook for another school.
I think I saw a flag right here.
Flags. I see red flags.
I'm gonna have to backlight. Yo, Lacey, it's the truth.
Are they just are the flags so that people can
I think
chime
something
in
you
when
guys
they
aren't
want to
taking into
talk?
account. Say we get a brand deal, I gotta post on an Instagram story. I gotta go find the 4 Loco cans. I gotta make sure I get the 4 Loco can. And
Not to mention,
You have to do work. That's what we have to do.
it ruins our Twitter impressions too.
I gotta tag them.
And then that goes into falling off.
Look at Ron. Look at Ron when he says that.
Ruins
Wait.
our Twitter impressions too.
I gotta tag them.
And
Look at his dumbass little smile. Bro, he knows. He just knows he's rage baiting and he's loving it so much.
then that goes into falling off.
My name is Rhonda. I'm a registered nurse from the South.
Nice to meet you,
From
Rhonda.
I never knew there would be worse rage bait than a
35
Cinna
years
stream.
ago, I decided to go to nursing school because I wanted to be a creative. I thought I loved fashion. I loved.
Am I
acting,
weird
loved
to be on
singing.
Lacey's side? No, here's the thing. Your opinion is your opinion, whatever. Obviously, a nurse, right, deserves proper pay. And it is a very difficult job. It is very time consuming and everything like that. There is the argument to be made that, like, for example, a lot of streamers that don't just sit at home and do stuff are actually working really hard and don't take time off. Are those two jobs comparable? No. Do I personally think that I would prefer one over the other? Of course, I would prefer being a streamer over a nurse any day, right? Like, that's just how I feel. Does it mean that one is less valuable than the other? Like, I obviously think nurses are more valuable than streamers. You know what I mean? They are more valuable. Like everybody knows, like that's a given, right? Because they save lives. But you're just not like when you're talking about easier. It's such a broad spectrum to be like, oh, one is black and white easier than the other. Because yeah, we're talking about nurses, but then what about like other 9-to-5 jobs? What about retail workers? What about this? What about that? It's so different. Now, again, personally for me, bitch. Okay, no rage bait. No rage bait. I don't like me personally. I would prefer being a streamer over a 9-to-5 any day. I know what I have and I know I'm blessed because when I was working 11-hour shifts at McDonald's and getting paid $7.25 an hour for it, that shit sucked. Yeah, it was easier than what I do now. But guess what? It fucking sucked that every day I dealt with that bullshit at a $7 rate. That was horrible. I would never go back to that. I don't want to go back to it.
But in the South, whole lot of racism. Back in the 60s and the 50s, people didn't give a rat's ass if you created something, and they wouldn't support your business. So yes, a 9-to-5 is much harder. I had to work 7 to 3.
Yo, AK Merlin, think of the prime.
7 p.m. I had to support my daughter.
Rhonda,
You get spoiled.
Rhonda, can I ask you a question?
Nope.
Have you ever done
You
it?
get spoiled. You get spoiled, and your mama and daddy keep giving it to you.
Rhonda, I got a
it.
question for Rhonda.
I did it.
Rhonda,
Yes.
have you ever done a subathon?
What's a subathon?
30 days straight,
24
hours a day.
day and night. No break.
We all streamed for
That ain't even healthy.
You're talking about working 7 to 3. You have 2 30-minute breaks throughout that. You get to go home afterwards, see your family, relax. We were on camera 30 days straight, no personal.
What
You know how
day
hard
were
it is
you a registered
to
nurse?
have.
When did you get a break? You clean boo-boo?
When have you ran a
You-
3-minute ad?
You
When have you
clean
ever
up
ran? You
vomit,
never ran a
you
3-minute ad.
pass trays, you
Bro, they're
short-handed.
so
What about
dumb.
the fake relationships that you have?
Oh my God.
Now
It's fake
think
on
about
social
this.
media.
Think about this. Imagine
Sure.
every little person. We call them parasocials. They judge your
Parasocials.
relationships. You can't go out to dinner or have a girl take a picture in your car without them finding out and judging
got
you
caught with
based
my
on it.
ex
I
in
got caught with my
public.
ex, and I got treated like I was a pedophile.
Sorry, hold on. That was an insane pause. What is he about to say?
For it.
But mental health,
What? What was he about to say? Oh, he finished that sentence. Okay, we're sticking with that. That's what we're sticking with?
I got caught with my ex, and I got treated like I was a pedophile for it.
but mental health. When you stop caring about what people think and what they say about you, do you. And that's a big problem with younger people. You care about what people think, social media, what they say about
Because
you.
that's our.
The issue, hold on, wait. We got rage bait. The issue is here that there are millionaire streamers arguing that their job is harder than 9-to-5 when streamers make more money in a few hours than most people make in a month. They put their bodies and minds through 6-7 days a week just to barely. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Duh. Most streamers make, so I know that, chat, let me just tell you, I had a month, okay? I'm just gonna be very transparent. I had a month as a streamer where I made as much as I made in a year working at a restoration company, fixing people's houses. Obviously, the gap is very skewed, okay? It's very skewed. Now, again, I have worked plenty of real life 9-to-5s in my life. So my perspective is that obviously I think that working 9-to-5s is way harder, right? Because the pay distribution makes it significantly harder. It doesn't matter what you do. It makes it now, it like a lot of people try to argue the hours put in is very different. Cause like, for example, I think now the hours that I put into everything that I do is way longer than any job I've ever had. Like way longer. Like I think now I basically like never take a break. Like I don't get any time for me and everything I do is work related. But I would rather always have that because I get to at least work for something that I love doing. So I don't really care. You know what I mean?
That's our job.
You said you're a nurse, right?
35 years.
What do you think's harder?
Yeah, I mean.
24-hour open surgery, like when you're helping with, the doctor, et cetera, or a 24-hour stream?
24-hour open surgery.
Oh, brother.
Why are you raising
We're
me
saving
so
thousands,
hard?
you're saving one.
Short-handed.
We're saving thousands, you're saving one.
Ron. There is no way he said that. saving thousands. You're saving
You
one.
said 30-day subathon, right?
Yeah.
My argument is that none of you guys actually did any of the work during that, and it was all your filmers, your
part of the
editors,
face team?
your producers. All these people back here are the ones doing the work. You guys just show up and have fun.
They didn't do anything.
It's a group project.
No, because here's the thing.
That's bad takes.
That's bad takes. That's bad takes. That's bad takes.
They wouldn't have
Clock
any
it.
work if it wasn't for us, though.
I would even go.
Oh, wait, hold on. Wait a minute. Because he kind of cooked. I'm not gonna lie. He did kind of cook. Yo, FS Stretcher, thank you for the sub. I appreciate it. He did kind of cook, low key.
As far to say as every person in this
That's
room.
like saying actors aren't working. Okay, people are gonna say it's not the same thing, but chat, okay. Do you like if all the streamers are like, yeah, you guys are right, okay? We gotta dip out because streaming is not a job. Do you know how many people lose their jobs? Do you know I have multiple employees that work for me. I have every employee that I have for me, job gone instantly. You know what I mean? Every employee that, like, let's say what fucking Ludwig hires, gone. All of them. They're all gone. He kind of cooked.
We keep them employed as well. Because here's
Yeah,
the
five
thing,
different
we
seats.
get sponsors.
Yeah, you don't
from
get
these
5, get the word
companies
out. I'm
that have
realizing that the
9 to 5s,
rage bait is going over some
companies-
people's heads.
hold on,
I'm
hold on.
realizing it.
These companies are not viable.
I'm seeing it now. I'm seeing
Push
it.
the branding to keep them in business.
Have you ever worked a real job?
90% likely to
So how would you know?
I have worked a real job.
What was your real job?
I
Okay.
worked 8 months. I worked a double.
I can't take you
Walmart and Panera at the
seriously.
same time for a year.
Why is she laughing? Bro, it's not. She's making me mad. I actually feel like they're wrong.
Oh no. Ron. Oh, Ron's about to rage bait the fuck out of them.
Not harder than what you do.
Well, you're guaranteed to pay.
Guaranteed to pay.
Yeah.
And that makes it harder?
Yeah. No, it makes it easier for you
Makes
guys.
it easier
Yeah.
because we have a guaranteed pay.
100%. You have
Makes
security.
it easier
Talk about
for
raises.
Makes it easier for 9 to 5 people to have a job because their pay is
Yeah,
guaranteed.
when you go to work every day, everyone's
So you're
like,
basing the ease of a job just on somebody getting paid regularly? Is that what you...
well, let's just say that comes to perspective. If you say someone who works food, if you someone who works a doctor, it's obviously different. But if you're talking abroad, 9 to 5, someone who doesn't need a degree, yeah, it's way easier than being a streamer.
How so?
Well, it's because you're guaranteed and you don't need any crazy knowledge. You don't need to go to school for most jobs, like certain things like a 9 to 5. If you wanted to go work at Foot Locker, I could go to Foot Locker, apply, and then next thing you know, I'm selling shoes for pay every single hour.
So according to you, a
They're, like,
job
snapping
is
behind.
easier or harder based on the
Why are
guaranteed
they
pay?
doing-
That's one
A
one
9 to
aspect of it.
Working
right?
at
Yeah.
Foot Locker,
Okay.
working at a job like Panera or wherever Lacey is easier than a streamer, yes, because a streamer you have to come up with ideas, you have to stay relevant. There
Oh,
was
we're talking about ideas now. Okay,
Yeah,
we're
what do you-
talking about pay.
Okay, so what do you want to
that's
start with
one
though?
way that
But it
it's
doesn't
easier.
make. But
Well,
you're not
you
even.
started with
You're not
pay.
even. You keep switching it. So why
Oh,
don't
I'm
you
not
answer my
switching
question?
anything.
You 100% are.
Yeah.
So how is it harder if you're guaranteed to pay? I worked for 4 years of streaming. I didn't make $1.
Well, what's your definition of hard? That's the thing.
7.5 an hour and nearly enough to live on. These kids are completely divorced from reality. Oh no. You got baited. 3 bakes. No. No, 3 bakes. You got baited. Don't listen to them.
It's like what
Stuff
is
that you need
difficult.
creativity.
Don't
you need to
listen.
Get out of your circle, comfort
Sure.
zone.
Yeah.
You need to be able to actually make people believe what you believe in the sense of
Another
like, oh, this
victim
is good content. Do you
fallen.
watch
Sorry,
any TV
3
shows?
bakes.
I watch YouTube.
No.
So much YouTube.
So it's the same thing. So the people that
Absolutely,
you're
yeah.
entertained by are the people like us, just for a different audience.
That's true. But you're talking about entertainment as a job. We could talk about entertainment
This is entertainment,
as a job.
but this
yeah,
is entertainment.
entertainment
But
as
my
a
question
job
to you
doesn't have
is
any
why?
guarantees. Absolutely.
So do you truthfully, you can sit here and think that working at like a Foot Locker or something like that, I'm just using that because that's the best
Sure.
example,
Yeah,
is harder than a streamer?
It depends on what you are saying the word hard means to you. Because
In the
there's
sense of
hard
everyday
physically,
activity, because
there's
some
hard-
people around here said, "Oh, I got to wake up at
I mean,
7
that
a.m.,
is
8 a.m."
the guy in the pink is. It does depend on what your definition of hard is. If you mean hard as in income to work ratio, or do you mean hard as in physical labor, or do you mean hard as like it genuinely does depend. It really does. There are a lot of different variations of what that means. You know what I mean? Streamers have 0 privacy. Whole life is public. That's so hard. I mean, I wouldn't call it hard. I'd call it like, it's a lot to deal with. I don't know if that's hard. Depends on who you're talking to. I don't mind that. Wait, I kind of do. There are certain aspects of it that have benefits and downsides. You know what I mean? It just kind of depends. You don't think it's hard? What, to have my life public? No, because when I went into streaming, I kind of knew that was what was going to happen. Like, if I ever did get bigger as a streamer. I think the thing that makes it harder is when I am criticized for my personal life decisions when people don't know me, right? I don't really care. Like, dude, yesterday I literally left the gym, went to the car wash, and some guy saw me and like wanted to take a picture. And bro, I looked the worst I've ever looked ever. I'm like covered in sweat. I wanted to just wash my car. And like, I still took a picture with him because he was a nice guy and he just wanted a photo and it wasn't like a big deal. You know what I mean? And like, yeah, it wasn't like, it's not great when that happens, but at the same time, it's not like hard for me to do that. I think maybe my definition of hard there doesn't really match. It's not hard for me to do that.
Okay, we have to do the same thing.
Sure.
Some people do that.
And you deal with yourself.
No, we deal with millions
when
of people.
you're creating that content and you have your phone, you're dealing with you and yourself in that phone.
Okay, so what happens?
You're not dealing with
Not true.
coworkers and you're not
That's not
dealing
true at
with-
all. I have an
Okay.
editor that I pay who relies on me. If I stop doing
Which
any
is
type
later.
of content, he loses
So when
a job.
you go to your job, when you go to work, rather than punching a card, you pick up your phone or you turn on a camera.
Okay, so when you punch the card, let's say, who's you? Your boss, right? What happens if he just takes the business and he says, oh, we're not doing it anymore? You lose your job.
If the work is picking up a phone or turning on the camera as opposed to going in with a bunch of people and having to multitask tasks you have to do throughout your shift and deal with your
Tasks you gotta do
coworkers
throughout
and
the stream.
interpersonal thing, tell me how much you do of that stuff while you are actually doing your job for however many number of hours that you are talking and typing and shitting and eating and all that stuff that everybody's watching you do.
Go ahead.
No, but there's actually a mental aspect.
I understand that, yeah.
No. Let me hear me out.
Go ahead.
Camaraderie. Like you have like a group of people, like friendships, relationships, which is the most important thing in life. So do you build that with your coworkers and stuff like that?
Sorry, bye. See you later.
Seeing a lot of flags.
Why did he just walk away? He canceled that animation. Why did he do that?
What's your name?
Because he got rage baited? Yeah.
I'm Angelina, and I work as an executive assistant.
You're right. You're right. She's right. I know. She's right. She's right. I'm not gonna lie. She's right.
All right, so you guys were talking about the mental aspect, and I thought that was really interesting because as someone who works a 9 to 5, technically it's a 10 to 6.
This girl is
but
annoying.
I still have to clock
Wait, why is she annoying? Uh-oh. Oh, no.
in a certain amount of time. I come home, I'm too tired to cook. Fortunately, I have
Yo,
a beautiful girlfriend
Dobrinsky,
that
thank you
does all
for
of that stuff for
5.
me
Oh
when
my
I get
God.
home. But
Thank
if
you.
I didn't, I would have to cook for myself and get to
That's
bed
so
in
sweet.
time
Thank
and
you.
wake up in time to commute back to my job. You guys talk about how it's hard because there's a mental aspect, and I understand as someone who's been on social media a lot that you get
How long have you
berated.
been on social media? Just to get broad.
So I actually did content creation starting at the age of 14. When I moved to LA, I gained like 10,000 followers off the bat, and I was very young, and I started working with different brands.
Okay.
I totally understand the mental aspect. It's just that you guys can afford to say, hey, I'm gonna go wherever for 2 weeks, and that can be content, that can be your job, and you actually get to relax and travel the world and have other
So
opportunities.
you're just saying a lot of points.
There's no relaxation.
Just so I can answer a couple.
Mm-hmm.
So you were saying like to go back to the beginning, you were saying like you can manage like your time with like relationship. Was that correct? Like you have your girlfriend when you go home. Like
I fortunately have a support system, but I every day like ask myself how I would
so
have
I'll
been
give you
able
a
to do it
perfect
without.
example. I was so
Silky
you said
sighed when she said she has a girlfriend. Why did he sigh?
14 you started. I started at 16. For about 3 years, I was making money, and it slowly went
Yo!
super up, and then all of a sudden it went down. Right?
Yeah.
I lost everything, fell off
about to
completely.
yourself.
About to myself. Real story. This is a real story. This isn't a joke. Why are you smiling?
We've all been there. Every 9 to 5 worker has been there.
So
That's
going
why.
back to what you said, how you have a support system. I moved across the country from my parent.
Cinna, you've done both. What is your opinion on this? IMO 9 to 5 is worse just based on pay, but I think debates are lose-lose for streamers. All right, here's my genuine opinion. Nobody wants to hear a millionaire streamer complain about their problems. There it is. Truth. No one wants to. They don't want to hear it. You know what I mean? If I come to you and I tell you how busy and tired I am, and I tell you that I have a lot of family issues, as a chat, when you guys have your own stuff, You hear that and you don't care. And I understand. Yo, if I heard Elon Musk complaining, I'd be like, shut the fuck up. You have billions of dollars, right? But the reality is everybody looks at their circumstance and they don't give grace to people that are doing better than them. But like growing up, it was a lesson that I learned where like I may be jealous of the rich kids that are growing up in California and have had everything when I grew up really poor. But it doesn't mean that they necessarily had better lives than me, right? They may have family issues. They may have other things that I don't understand because I'm not in their position. Every single position that you have has a different type of thing. Point blank period though, if you ask me, hell yeah, I say streaming is way better than a 9-to-5. Hell yeah, because I've worked so many different 9-to-5 jobs. Fuck yeah, I think it's way better than a 9-to-5.
At the age of 19, lived alone in an apartment, was paying a certain amount of money every single month, and I was losing money.
Cinna, retire me. No, you got it.
Like I had money in my bank for my rent, but I wasn't making more than my rent.
Yeah.
So I was losing.
You were in the red every month.
I was in the red every single month. Girlfriend broke up with me at the time, so alone across the country. So it's like when you're alone too and everything's going down, where's my support system?
I don't like why she's laughing, bro.
Okay, so I have a question. You
I
said
don't know, but don't get me wrong though. I think streaming has its own like struggles. Like for example, a lot of streamers don't talk about how spread thin they are. I think like I'm a really good example. I'm not joking when I say I do not have time for myself. And like it sucks. Like it does suck that I am spread so thin because I feel like I don't get to enjoy when everybody's like, "Oh, you're getting to do all these things though." I really don't ever feel like I get to enjoy it. You know what I mean? Because I'm always doing something. I'm always having to prepare for the next thing. I'm, getting on flights and red-eyeing to different places. But it depends. There are some streamers that play video games and they don't do that. And again, like I'm not complaining like it's, oh, woe is me. Like, because at the end of the day, I make so much money that it doesn't, I'm willing to do this because I love what I do, right? But there are definitely sacrifices to be made when it comes to streaming. I've made sacrifices for things that I think in the future, I'm worried I will regret making sacrifices on. Take a break. It's not how that works. Let me give you real, genuine streaming advice. Streamers who take breaks and constantly need to take breaks away from streaming hurt themselves more than they do themselves a service. And yes, I understand mental health is very important, okay? Mental health is very important. But when you are offline, okay? When you're offline and you take those days off, you will like hurt your core community, okay? And when you do it repeatedly, especially as a streamer that's growing, right? Like if you're already an established streamer, like let's say Shroud can take days off and he comes back and it doesn't really matter because he's Shroud. Like people are gonna watch Shroud for Shroud. When you're a growing streamer and you do that, you only hurt your momentum. You hurt your momentum. Everything you do is a strategic move for a reason because you'll hurt your momentum. Dobrinsky, thank you for the gifted sub. Pink Chinchilla, thank you for the sub as well. And Dobrinsky, thank you again for the 5. I appreciate it. Thank you. But when those streamers who are like smaller like work through that grind, then that grind is, it's worth it.
said that for the first 4 years you started streaming.
Strike while the iron is hot, yeah.
How are you able to survive?
I lived with my mom. I was 16.
So that to a certain extent is privilege.
That's privilege?
It is.
But my mom.
That massive sigh in the room was so funny.
You have the support system to have a place to live.
Well, at 15, 16, I would hope I have parents that would live with me.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't, and they have to take 9 to 5.
That's a whole different discussion. So a lot of people don't have houses.
A lot of people don't have.
Hold on. Speaking on the topic, Cinna, take LA weekend. You got a trip, stream twice. What kind of sacrifice and enjoyment did you get out of that? The sacrifice was I gave up 2 things that I wanted to do this weekend with friends at home. I had to cancel a trip back home in order to be there because I was supposed to be in Virginia this weekend in order to do things that are prioritized for work. Trust me, I haven't seen my family since December, okay? And if you know the things I've talked about with my family, you know that I need to go home. And I had to cancel that in order to do what I needed to do this weekend because it was good for my job. Now, I am going to take time to go home, but that does suck. On the flip side, though, and the benefit, I got to see my friends. You know what I mean? I got a really great stream. I got to be with my friends who I love. And it was a great weekend despite all the things, that went on. and I love my friends to death. They're all awesome. So there's two coins.
I have families that support them or accept
But that's a
them.
whole different conversation. What does that do with the 9 to 5?
Because they still need to survive. So the fact that you were given
So
the
how did you move to LA?
I moved
Your
across
family
the
can
country
visit
as
you
well
at
with my mom.
TwitchCon in the meet and greet line.
Do you not think that's privileged?
I mean, we moved into a 1-bedroom in Santa Monica and shared a trundle bed, so.
Yeah, you're right. I'm gonna give them all
I
tickets.
was reselling shoes to afford my mom's mortgage and everything.
I get it. I've definitely helped my family out in times where I was able to, but I also had to have my family support me in order for me to have certain opportunities to make money in the first place. So if you didn't have content creation, what would you be doing?
It's a great question. I don't know, because I didn't set my goals that way. I set up my life to that. I know I would do what I want to do. If we all got paid the same every single month, let's say just in simple terms, we all got paid $100,000 a month, crazy amount of money.
I like that.
Would you guys still, truthfully, I'm asking a serious question. Would you guys say that all of our jobs are harder than each other, truthfully?
Yeah, if she was a nurse, she had to go to medical school for years just to be able to have her
But
foot
she
in the
knew
door.
that she was getting security because she was going to be a nurse, correct?
Not secure.
How is it not secure if you knew what you were going to do?
Nothing secure.
Nothing's secure. You just proved my point. But you just proved my point.
No job is secure, but content creation gives you the ability to have those savings, to have an audience. And even if you do lose all your followers one day,
Yeah.
even if
Let's
you
say
lose,
I lost it all tomorrow.
you still have residuals of your previous viral
But that's-
videos. Even if people are hating on you and
that's not
shitting
necessary.
on
Oh my
you,
God,
that's
they're-
still adding to what goes into your pocket.
There's literally
They do get hella bread. That is true. Streamers
Because
do
they
get
were
a lot of
trained for
bread.
decades and they had to go to
So
school.
were we.
You went to school to be a content creator?
Streamer University.
Oh my god, dude. Ron is so funny. Are Zoil and them on the way here yet? Oh yeah, they're in the car.
How you doing, bro?
Good, how you doing?
Alex.
Gabe.
Gabe, how we doing?
I'm doing good. So first of all, I want to say I do respect all of you for what you do. I mean, you guys do work, but you do not work as hard as people who have a regular job.
You don't know that.
I mean, that I do know it for sure.
They're at
It's
Target?
very clear. People have to wake up and do their routine over and over again. It's not a daily thing, it's a weekly thing, it's a monthly thing, it's a yearly thing, it's a life thing. And if they screw up, they lose their jobs. And they always have to be careful because if they do something weird, they say something weird to their coworker or their boss, they're gonna lose their job. If you lose some followers because of something you say, you'll get other followers. And you have a large following enough where there's enough of a range of perspectives that people will always be on board for
Bro,
you.
oh my
as
God,
long as you're
they're-
producing content. People who screw up at their jobs and lose their jobs, and maybe there's a recession, there's not a lot of jobs, as could be now, they get potentially homeless or worse.
You ever heard of cancel culture?
What's that? Yeah, of course I've heard of it. But how many people have been canceled and came back? I mean, it happens all the time. Your boss is not going to be loyal to you if you don't get that thing in on time 5 times.
Oh,
But check it
you're
out.
done.
Okay, so listen, but to be able to get that loyal following of people that do follow you,
Yes.
you need to build that over years
Okay.
and years and years
Okay.
and hours of
It's
trust.
not a fly
All
chat,
right?
it's a net, and it's actually driving me fucking crazy. I don't stink.
And intimate relationships with
I
your
smell
audience.
good.
That's not something that's just given to you. That
Look,
Yo,
you don't just
Khalil
fall
Lux, thank you so much
into
for the sub,
a million
and so
subscribers. Of
fucking
course not.
awesome to go to the
Of course
Prime.
not. It takes work for sure. But like what you guys are talking about in terms of like the toll it takes on you, a large part of it, and let me tell you something, I'm a little older than you guys, so a large part of it is just general angst from being young, and you just happen to have a camera in front of you and like talking to people or whatever, but at the same time, like, you're doing exactly what most people are doing, which is dealing with life stuff, and that's normal. Like the mental toll that it takes dealing with people and getting comments and this and that, that's what everybody deals with. But you don't have to wake
I
up.
feel really bad. I canceled this animation like a while ago. I don't know why, but something about the way that this conversation was going, that, oh my God, my brain just completely lagged. It was gone.
Up at 6 in the morning and get to your job and then be there and like be on the whole time, no matter what.
It's just the
Anyone who
one.
has a 9 to 5 has to do that.
I said, what do you do?
Well, I'm a college professor, so I have to do that same
So
sort
you
of.
just gotta come in and teach the same shit for the next 10, 15 years?
Yes, you're right.
Come on, bro.
We have to-
You already know what you're doing.
We have to produce new shit every day.
For me in particular, to Silky's point, you're a college professor, so you're essentially teaching.
Why did he kind of cook? Why did he cook? He said, so you just get to come in and teach the same shit every day for years? Kind of
teaching the same curriculum to the same students.
That I had to take years to learn, but
you know
yes.
what I'm saying? But I started making content when I was 12 years old.
Okay.
It started out playing Call of Duty trick shots.
Yo, Valorant Pro 408, they're gonna sub.
Anybody in this room could hit a crane shot. I don't know if anyone in this room could quickscope.
I don't know if that's something to be proud of, but
Adapt can't say this though because he got trick shotted on by the Yard Boys. I heard. Nick was telling me that he trick shotted on him. So I don't know if Adapt can talk this shit anymore. I just don't think he can. Maybe like 2019 Adapt, or is it 2014? I'm not quite sure what year. That was AI. Was it? Because the conversation I had in real life felt pretty real. When Nick was telling me about the story, it felt like a pretty real conversation. It didn't feel like I was speaking to a bot. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I had to do that for 4 years.
You
right?
were hallucinating.
Like, okay, then I had to do YouTube for 4 years,
Okay.
right?
All right.
And then I had to do FaZe Clan, build FaZe Clan out, fix FaZe Clan, and then
Okay.
do streaming.
Okay.
So
build. I'm sorry. Saying build FaZe Clan out, fix FaZe Clan.
FaZe Clan, build FaZe Clan out.
I remember when I met I met Adapt at this, was it the Streamer Awards? Or so, I think it might have been the Streamer Awards, maybe, but I don't know what year it was. And I was talking to Adapt, I think it was like last year or the year before. And I was talking to him about how he like, I used to not like FaZe. I remember telling him like they just, you know, certain members would make all those incel tweets and shit like that. And I was like, oh yeah, that's just what FaZe is about. Like, I just did not like them. And I was telling him like how different it is now with like the members. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just so different, I feel like.
Fix FaZe Clan, and then do streaming.
Okay.
So
with how many people?
You want to know how much I hated old FaZe? Oh, maybe I shouldn't say this. Okay, there was a tweet that I got into like I got in like an article for when I was like a small streamer. I was like a nobody streamer. And I tweeted something because one of their members tweeted something about like OnlyFans girls when OnlyFans like banned not safe for work content. And they like tweeted something like oh, guess you whores will have to get a real job now or whatever. So I was so petty that when FaZe cleaned house recently, whenever they did before they brought on the new members, I almost went back and retweeted that person's tweet with the caption that said, oh, guess you're gonna have to get a real job now. But then I realized, you know, I've grown as a person. I don't need to be doing that, you know, on Twitter. Actually, I think I told Adapt this too. Like I told him. But you know, now I like, you know, where FaZe is now. I think they're all very nice people. They're all very sweet. Dabrinsky, thank you for the 5 gifted. I appreciate it. Thank you. They've all been very, very nice to me and everything like that. You know, they're great.
How many people helping me?
Yeah.
Come on now.
I never watched FaZe during the New Year House right now. I never even prior to I've never even watched Adapt or anything. Or like FaZe like Swag is in this video. I've never even watched him.
Was it just you? Like
No. It was just me.
I wasn't tapped in.
It wasn't built on the shoulders of anyone?
There's receipts on YouTube of me.
Okay, well, where did YouTube come from?
When I was
How did
13,
YouTube become so
when I was
easy?
13
Because
years
a
old.
bunch of people worked their butts off 9 to 5, making it a thing.
That's
and
when
if
you
it
did
didn't
it for
exist,
the
if
boys.
it didn't exist, you couldn't press
So the
play, you
fact-
couldn't press record,
So the fact that
and
you
then
have
just
a,
talk.
The fact that you have a campus to teach on. Then
Yeah.
boom, there you go.
Right, but I also had to spend years earning my credentials and mastering.
And I did it.
Come on, guys. Your credentials are playing video games. I play video games on my spare time. Come on, guys.
So you just want to get paid to play video games. It's okay. We understand.
I should have known when you said software engineer. Oh my God, how many accounts?
Hair and makeup artist, physical job. Doesn't seem like any of you guys
Seer!
can even compete with
Oh,
the physicality.
brother.
You guys just,
I know how to do a 3-strand braid.
Just sitting on your butt and talking into a microphone
know.
is very different.
So wait.
Very different than having to get up
Oh my God, they're getting rage baited so hard. It's crazy.
In the morning, carry all of your gear. You've got to carry all of your
Right?
hair, makeup, all of your supplies. You have to haul it around, get up early.
Agent was right. Chat, I'm not autistic. And I don't have tortism.
Early in the morning, you stand on your feet all day.
I'm not.
You never sit down.
I hear you, I hear you.
You're breathing in toxic chemicals all day.
All right, can I talk?
Hairspray.
Listen, so your whole
So
thing.
it's dangerous.
Listen,
Your
just
job
chill,
isn't
chill.
dangerous.
So
your
thing
job
is-
isn't
your
physically
thing is
taxing. You're just talking into a
So
microphone.
listen. So your whole thing. Your whole thing is we can't do what you do, right?
It's not
No, no,
physical.
no, no, but-
I'm saying that
I
a
just-
9 to
y'all let
5
me talk for a
job where
second.
you physically have to do
So-
some hauling around stuff.
So
and
I physically
you're
can't
just
haul
talking
around
into a microphone.
bags of like makeup. You physically could never trick shot. You could not hit a crane shot. You can't 1080. You can't hold.
No way. He said, dude, the way he's charging it up right here. Oh my God. Adas has the best one.
Bags
This
of like
video
makeup.
is
You physically could
great.
never trick shot. You could not hit a crane shot. You can't 1080. You can't hold a controller and make a 200K montage. You can't. No one in here. Come on, man. None of you could. None of you could physically
And you have
go
to do that for 12 hours a day.
He's actually not wrong, though.
Actually, yes.
Taking him 4 days to hit a trick shot. It's taking you 4 days to hit a trick shot.
Actually, yes, I would have
Hours
to
a
do
day.
that.
He's
And
not
then your
wrong.
day is
He's
never
right.
done. When you're done doing that, is your job done? Do you have to go shopping and replace
You don't
all
know-
of the
wait,
things
wait.
that you
Stop.
use?
No. Listen,
You have to
Vicky,
clean
listen,
all of
Vicky.
your gear.
You don't know about dry streaks. You don't know about hit markers.
But when you're done, you're
You
done.
don't know about if the Elgato wasn't on.
When
Can
you're
you
done, you're
imagine
done.
these
Oh
things?
my God, disable
Elgato?
resample.
And the worst part is he started this off by saying, "You're saying I can't physically carry makeup bags. You couldn't hit a trick shot." Oh, and he's so right. That might be the best person to argue this though, because he's actually right. Oh my God.
If I
He's
rendered my video in
right.
Vegas and I sent the editor the clips without disabling and resample,
Oh my God.
my montage is fucked. The main underlying argument here is what you do is physically
Daily, day to day.
Okay. Your main thing is what you do is physically more taxing and
Yeah.
hard than what any of us
And
do.
dangerous.
I could say the same thing. You cannot physically trick shot. You could never. I would go as far
Okay,
as
so how many hours a day do you trick shot?
I'm sorry. Him being dead serious?
You cannot physically trick shot. You could never. I would go as far
Okay,
as
so how many hours a day do you trick?
He's not wrong though. And actually, I don't understand. Yo, people really do discredit esports as a career, but that shit is entertaining. No, I want to make it very clear, okay?
How many hours a day do you trick shot? How many hours?
When I was trick shotting, it was 12 hours a day. It was however long I needed to. However
Every
long I
day, 12
needed
hours
to.
a day
However
trick
long I
shotting?
needed to hit a clip.
12 hours a day, every day.
5 seconds.
And that clip is.
He carries a Barrett 50 cal and
And I gotta say, I know that Adapt can trick shot because I did ask him to do one drunk one time.
jumps off and stuff.
I would have to get on Call of Duty, turn my sense all the way up to 10-10. I would have to get to last. I would have to pray to God that he would be in the right spot, throw the concussion. Now I gotta have my rotations down. I gotta have my rotations.
Dead zones. Talk about the dead zones.
Talk about dead zone.
Stick drift.
Stick drift.
The thing is, for the most part,
Stick
but
drift.
that is not all YouTubers that are doing something physical. A lot of it is just talking.
Yeah, but she also said it was dangerous. We could walk around IRL stream and someone could rob us or kill us.
I gotta.
Wait.
They're laughing, but that's happened recently.
I've gotten a pumpkin thrown on my head by a crackhead.
Crackhead ran up to him on stream and
I almost died.
Yeah, wait. Hold on. Now wait a minute, because they were laughing a little bit too much. All right, they were laughing a little bit too much. That hit a little close to home for me. Okay, all right. That hit a little close to home. So I don't know why you're fucking giggling in the corner over there. That's just real. Aware. Yeah, I really do think the other thing that people don't account for is like stalkers are very heightened in streaming. That's not like a thing to say it's necessarily harder. T-Kill and Figure this out, by the way. But yeah, I don't think like a lot of streamers don't talk about how bad it actually is. It's pretty bad.
My name is Thelma. It's a pleasure to meet you, sir. I am very occupational. My last job, I worked as a librarian with elementary school children.
So
I have been an executive secretary, legal.
Very quiet, peaceful.
Yes.
Oh my God, he's
all
already
that,
looking to
but
argue. I can
it's
see it
who
in his
you are.
face.
That we create social media all the time.
I can
because that's
see
what we are.
it.
We're 9-to-5ers, and we interact and
You guys have a team for all aspects of your lives. Cook, cleaner, production team, security, accountant, manager, everything. Do you know how much money that costs? Even like, bro, like everybody's like, oh, Cinna, you're rich. You can hire security. Do you know how much security even costs when I have to do that? Doesn't that suck to have to do? Like, tell me, do you want to live your life knowing, stop, don't expose me. Okay. Do you want to live your life like every time you go out and you stream that, you have a fucking weirdo that's trying to find you? That shit sucks. It's not fun. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's harder than a 9-to-5, but to act like it's something that people should just have to deal with
because you're across the screen,
is a cringe take.
You're not interacting with.
I think that's a
people
cringe
like
take.
So what are we doing right now?
Interacting?
What are we doing right now?
You don't want to be famous. You're victim blaming. If I'm keeping it a stack, I'm not even rage baiting you. I'm being dead ass. Why should famous people have to deal with the fact that stalkers exist? Why should we not just condemn stalking? There's your retweet. Why do people hear that people have stalking and they're like, oh my God, well, they're an influencer, so they fucking deserve it. This is what they wanted. Instead of saying, wow, that is fucking terrible that they have a stalker and they shouldn't have that. And yeah, you're right. There are day-to-day people who work 9-to-5s who also get stalked. And you don't say, well, you shouldn't have been working at that restaurant, so I guess you deserve it because that's where you met the stalker. You don't say that, do you? No. You say, oh, that sucks that you have a stalker. That's a mentally ill person. That person needs to be dealt with. You know what I'm saying? Keep that same energy for everyone across the board. That's not a wealth disparity thing. That's like a human rights thing. Huh? That's like a human, a human compassion thing. If you think that people who are famous deserve to have stalkers, you're victim blaming.
You're doing it now because we're doing a video.
Wait, isn't she debating for it? That's making it harder for us.
Do you know that there's millions of people?
Now I'm not gonna have all y'all gang up on me.
There's millions of people who watch the video
Yes.
who save lives every day, probably more than doctors.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Yes. There's people that literally stay alive because they.
Oh my God, we are doing a
About
long ass
going
reaction.
out
I'm trying to
to the
stall because
club at
Zoil and them
night,
are supposed to
staying
be
out
here.
till 10 o'clock in the morning, trying to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning so you can get dressed.
So you was
to
having
get-
fun.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so.
So, but I'm saying it's like you guys don't do the interaction. You don't touch people like this.
Okay, now.
What kind of shit's going on?
You go to the club, you get to put some shades on, and you go by your day to work. We can't do that because we have thousands of people.
But is
You're
that
drunk,
your choice?
You're high. You're
But is
hungover.
that
Just
your
get off
choice?
screen. We don't want to see you like this.
But is that your choice?
We don't like you like this. Why are you doing this?
But is that your choice? You chose that. You chose this
No,
life.
that's the thing. We can't. We
And
can't
that's
do
what's
what you
happening
do.
now. That's what's happening now with the whole world. It's a total disconnect. When you have a 9-to-5,
Yo, Dabritsky, what is going on today?
So
Thank you for
no,
another 5 gifted. What the hell?
I think. Look,
Thank you so
appreciate
much.
I appreciate you, and I respect what you do.
Do you
because
watch
I think,
any entertainment?
Oh my God.
Of course I watch
So do
entertainment.
you
I
ever-
got kids.
wait,
I got grandkids.
Do you ever laugh? Do you ever laugh?
Of course I laugh.
So then they
We're
interact with
touching
you.
them.
But the interaction is not
make you feel
real.
bad?
Some of it is fake.
Sorry,
Some
I
of it is
paused right.
fake.
You see, you're not answering.
So now let me.
Okay, well let me answer because I'm debating him.
Okay,
But go ahead.
Right after this, I got you. Right
Okay,
now.
all right.
Chat heroin
So,
stream,
when
next
you're
stream, thoughts?
entertained, Have you ever felt like your day was better if you watched something?
Cinna, Emma got a 121 on the autism test. I'll take it after
The
this.
difference with you is that you guys do this 24/7. That's all you do.
Yeah.
You know, you just like you. Wait a minute. Somebody made a comment about, oh, I can't even go out.
Are we done with this video?
Or I can't even go out in public.
That's right.
I
Do we
can
take it
go out
now?
in public and be seen.
Yo!
You know what?
So it's easier.
I'm a very
Dabrinsky,
social-
thank you
I'm
for
a
the
very
20.
social
I appreciate it.
very-
That is very, very nice of you. Yeah, this is a long ass video. We're only like a part of the way through. I'm pretty good. I see the rage bait. I like it. Can somebody give me the autism test? When did Emmy take it? Just now?